Just off the Las Vegas Strip, biggest match in the Western Conference in Week 10 of the championship comes to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. Today's match is presented by Silk Title Company. Las Vegas Lights taking on Colorado Springs. And yes, with our Elvis impersonator and Chelsea Kabarkis alongside Mike Watts on hand. Take a look at the Western Conference standings. These are live here tonight as Colorado Springs has endured a painful start to the season, but one win takes them to the playoff line. Las Vegas, 1 point from the line, but games in hand on everybody above them. Now, Chelsea, these sides met in the Western Conference final last year, and it means there's a little extra in it tonight.
It's always bittersweet getting a chance to play the team that beat you in a final, especially when it was a one-goal loss and you actually put in a solid performance. I thought Las Vegas had control for most of the match and were the better team. They kept pushing, took a lot of shots from distance, but they couldn't get one. Colorado brought the intensity, disrupted the flow, and just made things uncomfortable. Tejada scored in the 38th minute, and from there, Colorado did a great job blocking defensively and seeing it through.
And their first Western Conference championship, they went on to win the final. Juan Tejada was the MVP of that final against Rhode Island. He gets the start tonight.
Tejada, he's got great vision, great footwork, which helps him escape tight spaces and stay creative in possession. He's also explosive. Once he takes on a defender, he becomes really hard to track in 1v1 situations. And he's a real threat in the attacking half. You never quite know where he's going next.
He's in for Justin Dillon, who scored 5 goals in 8 games this year. Meanwhile, Jonathan Rodriguez only scores big goals with Pinzon out. He's the guy.
A striker, but really an attacking midfielder. 2 goals in 7 matches, but it's been over, I want to say, a month that he's scored. He's hungry to find the back of the net. He's given the team depth by staying high and stretching that back line, especially in transitions. But he also comes in deep because he has that attacking midfielder mentality, and they can't really find him. Great at turning at an angle. He's smart, creative, everything you really need.
24 goals these last 2 seasons. He wants one tonight. Las Vegas wants revenge. It is Las Vegas and Colorado Springs. Big battle at the playoff line in Week 10 is coming up next.
It's going to fall in behind for Pinzon. And it's on a play here for Rodriguez. Zhao will shoot, and it's in. Las Vegas has done it.
As a Great Clips salon stylist, I love giving customers the look they want. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. And when I see that confidence at the end of the cut, that's everything to me.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We are proud to offer 9 locations across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
Today's match is brought to you by the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Remember to change your watering clocks for summer. Water plants and trees only 4 days a week. And by Great Clips. Take a look at the starting 11 tonight for Las Vegas Lights. The starting lineups are brought to you by Richard Harris Law Firm. Arosa Reyna starts in goal. They've kept the back line together. It's that obvious change up front that everyone's looking at.
A lot of attack will flow through Zhao. He thrives in 1v1 situations with his speed. Lau holds his things down in that number 6 role, cleaning up loose balls and distributing quickly to keep the play moving. Rodriguez has attacking mid traits, so he'll come very deep to receive balls and looks to slip passes into those open pockets.
Antonio Nocerino hoping that group can outduel James Chambers. Starting 11 this evening, Tejada stepping in They're still without Echeverria and a handful of other key players too.
Starting in a 3-4-3 formation, I truly believe Chicago will defend man-to-man because individually Vegas is cheeky with the ball. Hanya, operating as their number 9, will look to provide depth and stretching that Las Vegas back line from the midfield. At times, he'll drift into those pockets of space, link up play. Metusalo will stay compact and be key in those organizing the team as they push forward from the back.
Our lineup's brought to you by Richard Harris Law Firm. So Colorado Springs is looking for that great moment here tonight, that key win that turns their season around. It's been frustrating, just one win through 8 games. They fall out of the Open Cup midweek against New York Red Bulls, but so many of these players understand exactly what's on the line here tonight. You can be sure that the fans are too. Maybe the greatest turnaround in league history when all's considered. The second biggest year-over-year point turnaround for Las Vegas went off the rails with that one Juan Tejada goal in the Springs last November. Here's the opening kickoff, and here we go in the desert. Week 10, it is Las Vegas taking on Colorado Springs. Touchdown by Mahoney. Captain the side, Defensive Player of the Year finalist en route to that championship. Colorado Springs, some may remember, as Brandon Stevis is our official here tonight, went from 5th place to 2nd place on the last day of the season. If not for that wild final match day, Las Vegas very easily could have been hosting that Western Conference final. As Metusala taps over, and here's Duke Lacroix. And the crazy part about it is, you could argue Las Vegas was the better team on the night. This into the final third, cut back and met by Pearson. I mean, we saw the save in the highlight pregame. Herrera makes that vital save. You've got those couple of moments that decide finals, and you know it probably bothered Las Vegas all offseason.
And that's what it is. I mean, Vegas was there. They were right there. So it's bittersweet being able to play this team again so that you can get those chances. You know you're good enough. You know you're creative. You're playing against a team that is pretty much vertical. They just go forward.
That's sort of the Colorado Springs way, isn't it? Here's Raiko Arosarena. As the old head coach at Colorado Springs used to say, Brendan Burke, we may give up 99, but we'll score 100. Here's Pearson. There is James Chambers, 38 years old, 2nd year at the helm, replacing Stephen Hogan, who was elevated to the sporting director role. He's been an assistant with the club for 3 seasons prior to this head coaching tenure. Irishman finished his career in the league at Bethlehem Steel. Brought it away by Escona. Pressure from Tejada. It was a nervy moment. Here's Metusala. Seems like you're a fan of his game watching him.
I like Metusala. He takes control from the back line. He has that communication, that presence, and that's what you need from that center back. You need that center back to anticipate the plays, to call the shots. He's really the leader. He has the best view besides the goalkeeper.
He and Mahoney have been a really nice mixture together, despite the fact the team is without a shutout. Lee Cowell trailing into the corner. Rocha taps ahead. Zandy alongside Fontana. Fontana blast, that's blocked. Kept away from Endley. Run out denied. Mahoney takes over.
I always say the first 5 minutes of a game, you see that high pressure, that intensity. You really don't get to see form until 10 minutes in.
Las Vegas Lights fans,
And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a lot of pressure, hitting, trying to get those first, those second balls, because it's more of an ego thing, right? To set the tempo.
That's a good step by Johnny Rodriguez. Rodriguez from Ascona, away by Metusala. And neither of these teams lack in physicality either, so setting that tone, being the alpha tonight goes a long way. It's also 95 degrees. Colorado Springs played in the Open Cup on Tuesday, lost to Red Bull 4-1. Las Vegas has been off, and they train in this all the time. It's one thing to start for 5 minutes. It's another to sustain it for 90. So this is caught by Herrera.
They were off for almost a week, but that can also have a negative side effect to it because the team can come out flat. Right now, what I'm seeing, they're not flat. But normally, if you have 5-6 days off, yes, you're resting. But then it's as if like that the adrenaline kind of wears off.
That's why we work so many games. It keeps the adrenaline up.
It keeps the adrenaline up.
Mm-hmm. Floated along by Howell. Here's Elias Gartig. Tejada forces this back. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Here's Howell. Notably, no Christian Pinzon, no Sean Smart, the outside back, unavailable tonight as well. Herrera had to deal with that. There's an irony to him stepping out of the area, given that Abe Romero got sent off, protecting a pretty vital point against Phoenix. Left the penalty area, handball late in stoppage time. That takes Romero out of the starting role and puts Herrera back in for the 4th time this year. Hasn't played since March the 23rd. Here's Antonio Nocerino, 38-year-old Italian epic midfielder, featured for the Italian national team. Just recently, about 13 years ago. He's the head coach of Miami last year, won just 3 games. Good news is he's got a much better roster than he did in Miami. I think most people would probably say that that's not a fair way of describing Nocerino's ability as a manager. And already the team's got 3 wins this season. Not often I see a head coach with a stopwatch in hand. I don't know if he's timing the game or timing specific actions, but feels a little bit unique.
Pretty sure timing the game. Making sure that the referee doesn't go overtime.
Isn't there an assistant somewhere who can handle that job?
Yes, but it's better to do it yourself.
Yeah, okay.
It's a very I mean, he's European, but I was gonna say it's a very South American thing to do because you always think there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Someone's getting paid behind those doors.
There's no brown bag full of money tonight, I promise you. I once did a game where the vice president of Suriname was rostered in the game. He was over 50 years old, and after the game he walked in and offered the other team money for beating them, and both teams got knocked out of that CONCACAF competition. Things get pretty weird.
Things get weird in football.
Mahoney. Tejada. That's quite a grapple from Malik Howell, and Tejada can't quite believe there isn't a whistle. It's a throw for Colorado Springs, but that was a lot from Howell.
Great battle from Howell. I would have been a little bit more patient, held my ground, just kept him in front of me.
Well, it's a very late whistle. They're now marking for a free kick, which I think is the right call in real time.
It was definitely a foul. It was Howell just being aggressive, but anticipating the play, being there a little earlier, being patient on your feet. Because you don't want to get fouls in the final third of the field.
I think Antonio Nocerino is saying, why didn't you give the foul earlier? We'd much rather defend a throw. So Aiden Rocha will be the one who puts this in play. I think there's also a question about just how close that ball should be to the box. Yeah, they're going to move it back another couple yards.
You always want to try to win a little bit of yards.
Now Rocha doesn't like that there's ref edge on the ball. It's a whole problem. As Kona drew the short straw, one-man wall for Rosarena. Aiden Rocha curling a decent ball, and a header goes up and above.
What a great service by Rocha.
Matt Real got up for that too.
A great service by Rocha, curling with the inside of his foot. If I would have waited a little bit longer to run into that ball so that my header could go directly down to one of the corners.
Real reverting to a more familiar deep role at outside back here tonight. They've been playing higher the last couple of games and was actually out suspended for the most recent contest against Phoenix. Ascona withstood Andali's challenge. Nigro through Pearson. I think when we watch this Vegas team, their creativity comes to the fore. Colorado Springs has made that very difficult tonight.
I really enjoy seeing that Vegas is trying to move the ball around, trying to open up the spaces, and they're being patient. They're not forcing the play. But Colorado is also being smart by forcing them to an angle to see when they can press. It's all about timing.
Hey, the USL on CBS Sports Network continues May 28th. Western Conference doubleheader. San Antonio and Tulsa, 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by this very lights team against Phoenix at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network. Doubleheader on May 28th. Switchbacks start upfield. Going to thread the needles. Sandy steps over top. Leal intervenes. Kicked away from Zhao, who really hasn't gotten on the ball at all yet.
The game has been dominant on the near side of the field for this Vegas side. Colorado right now, they're struggling in the middle of the park with their midfield because there isn't any rotation between the midfielders. So there's no one to really distribute to that final third. So what they're trying to do is just play those long balls, and it really just comes down to physicality and winning those duels.
Able to get a longer spell here, and it may well pay off. Zandy, he lost that of his own volition. James Chambers, I could hear, disagrees with that sentiment. Continues here through Mahoney. And rattles high, and now the run out is on for Las Vegas. Zhao, advantage played, overcooked for Budati. Outside back arrives. Launches forward, Noel trying to get beneath it. And in doing so, he grappled in a way that would have opened his Kona up instead. That's a foul. James Chambers has a few words too.
Las Vegas Lights fans, if you bought the tacos and tickets package, please make your way to the Blitz customer service booth on the concourse to redeem your offer and get your tacos.
I think you were looking to see if Colorado Springs could, in fact, sustain those possession moments. So often can be quite direct. James Chambers, we've heard him speaking with the fourth official quite a bit, to the point that the referee now has decided to intervene, offer him a yellow card. Brandon Stevis to the defense of Adrian Gonzalez, the fourth. Hot tempers when it's 95 degrees, I guess.
I think he has to focus on not getting thrown out.
That's going to be the problem now.
Yellow card issued to the Colorado Springs head coach.
Andale coming forward to it. Skips off Escona. Here comes Las Vegas. Crowd comes to life. Valentin Noel. Noel curling! Saved by Herrera. You know he's got that in his bag. Valentin Noel is extraordinary playmaker.
What a great play and decision by Noel. He's going to attack those spaces. He saw that open net and curved it to that upper 90. Great job by Herrera to track back a little bit, take those steps back, because he anticipated that shot. He knew where he was going.
It's been a weird year for Herrera. He was the starter last season, all 38 games, 13 clean sheets. They brought in Abraham Romero, certainly a capable number one as well. After 3 winless to start the year, they switched to Romero. His first start since the end of March. Sliding challenge to win that back. Rodriguez trying to provide a bit of verticality here, and they can't quite find him either. The Las Vegas Lights proud to be working with the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Remember to change your watering clocks for summer. Water plants and trees only 4 days a week. I would never water on Sundays. Never. Throw for Nigro. They say you can't bring a game in a briefcase. You've got ideas of what it's going to look like, but ultimately 22 get out there and they start to figure out, is this the game you thought you'd see to this point?
Not really, because they're still trying to figure it out. Vegas is doing what they do best by moving the ball around. They're trying to be creative in the middle of the park. And Colorado, they're predictable. They're predictable. You know they're gonna swing the ball around the back, and then they're gonna look to go long or play that diagonal ball and win that air ball. Exactly what we're seeing right now.
Tejada trying to lasso that at the end line. Somehow that didn't get entirely over the paint. I don't think we've seen Hanya touch the ball to this point tonight. You'd certainly like to see some combination of Fontana and Zandy on it as well. Here's Fontana. Out in space, Zhao, when he accelerates, it can be really enticing.
He's quick, he's good with his feet, explosive to get out of those tight spaces, but once he takes off and he has pace on him in that space, that's when he really loses defenders. But it really comes down to that first touch being positive to direct him to where he wants to go. Vegas is being a little bit more patient, playing a low block, a mid-low block, letting them play out because they know that Colorado is going to go long. So what they really need to focus on is just winning that first ball out of the air.
They finally try and get it into the feet of Hanya, and he certainly suffered the consequences on this in from Lacroix.
And sometimes acts like this are necessary because you need to mark your territory.
Yeah.
Not smart, but it's smart where he did it on the field.
Yeah, it's 45 yards.
It's really far out. The final third, I wouldn't necessarily tell him to do that in his half.
Well, I'm sure Hanya is well aware of Budati now. He's probably got the cleat marks to prove it. Ball into the box. That takes a marginal flick on. And Rosarena will keep this in at the line. Now, I mentioned earlier, Antonio Nocerino, exquisite football player in Italy. Take a look at this touch. So Tejada keeps that in initially. Got it. Not a problem.
He hasn't lost it.
Class never graduates. Milan, Genoa, Juventus, Palermo. Played 2 seasons in Orlando at the end of his career, too.
He has a lot on that resume.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Top teams.
Yeah. You talk to him, and there's not a lot of coaches at this point that I go into a meeting going like, I get to talk to. Antonio Nocerino is one of those guys. Or maybe I'm just not connected with guys that leave me in awe like that. That's a whole different question. Tejada. I've been around this for long enough. Is there a coach you've ever talked to where you just went, oh, wow, this is real, this is happening? Or is that still to come?
I've spoken to quite some coaches. I will say players where I've had a moment and I've said, wow, am I really talking to you? Can I just pet you? I asked him, I was like, can I just touch you to make sure this is real? And it was Ronaldo.
Right, okay, so not easily impressed.
And he started laughing.
This is Rocha. I guess gives off some kind of Ronaldo vibe.
This is the part of the game that Colorado is going to get frustrated. They're going to try disrupting plays. They're going to get physical.
Almost feels like a very similar line to draw of what we saw from Budati previous. Not going to give a free ball in the air to Johnny Rodriguez at that stage. Works a nice give and go here. Charging down the line. Inverting that bypasses Nigro. He has to recirculate. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC 157. It's North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk. Includes USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. It's all on Sirius XM-FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Noel. Matt Mahoney grinding in. Cedes the foul at halfway.
This is when the fouls are going to start happening for Colorado. They're going to try marking their territories, get Las Vegas out of their game because they're being creative. They're moving the ball around. And that's what you don't want Vegas to do. Once they start moving the ball around and finding those pockets, those windows, that's when they become really dangerous. And what they're doing right now is inviting Colorado to press them so that they can find those pockets in behind.
It has become really compact here. Those two low banks for Colorado Springs are what, 10 yards apart? That's not a pocket. For a team that loves to have those creative moments on the ball, it makes it almost impossible, doesn't it?
Makes it almost impossible, but they'll find it.
Yeah.
It's just all about the timing and being patient on the ball.
Launching Noel, who ran out of real estate. Are you satisfied? You talk about patience. Is that a ball, if Noel latches onto that you walk away satisfied that you took advantage of that spell of possession?
Of course, because you have to play on instinct, right? And if that's what you saw, if that's what your vision at that moment, you believe that that ball was going to go through, you have to play. This game is really based on instinct.
Well, the instinct was right, but the ball was just narrowly too long. Yeah. When the mind can't will the body to do exactly right.
It happens, but as a player, when you find that niche on how to curve the ball, which part of your foot, how much pace you have to put on it, then you really just feel unstoppable.
Well, both teams are still looking for that unstoppable feeling tonight. 25 minutes. Las Vegas and Colorado Springs, rematch of the Western Conference final a year ago. Switchbacks won that game at home. Ended what was a Cinderella-esque season for Dennis Sanchez and Las Vegas Lights. Las Vegas coming off 3 consecutive wins in all competitions, including a victory over the top team in the Eastern Conference, Loudoun United, which nobody saw coming. Inside here to Zandy. Mahoney, Andely. Switchbacks probing. Andely swerves the cross through. Rosarena went up for it, didn't get a lot of it. Hanya was arriving at the back stick, so the Lights put it out for a corner. That was Howell that knocked it out over the line.
Great play by Andely, waiting patiently to curve that ball in, and that's exactly what Colorado has been waiting to do. They've been patient. They're predictable, but it works for them. It works for them because they go out wide and they serve those perfect balls into the box. And winning those balls in the box really just comes down to mentality and aggression. And that's something that they clearly have.
And now they'll try and make the most of it with the ensuing set piece. Corners brought to you by Richard Harris Law Firm. Aiden Rocha swinging in. Metsusela was coming to the ball. Ball knocked down, swept at by Lacroix. Whistle goes against Rocha, who's hoping to get a second service. Great clip, conveniently brought to you by Great Clips. The hold-up play, that's worth its weight in gold to be able to hold that ball up and win the ball back as opposed to another phase of that set piece.
The control was off. I would have liked him to be a little bit more patient on that ball.
Lacroix out in front of Noel. Does finally feel like summer. Temps at kickoff 95 degrees. And even with light humidity, still enough for what's my first hydration break of the season. Come around the half-hour mark. Pearson, Herrera.
Las Vegas is now having issues connecting with their forwards, not being able to get into that final third.
What's the best path to try and link up with that front three at this point that's been lacking?
I believe pushing up your line. I think they're playing too much of a low block, and they're molding their game to Colorado's style, and they're just defending at this point.
Unable to hold that up, Rodriguez, and instead it's another spell here for Colorado Springs. Methuselah, out of Montreal, Quebec native, spent the last 4 years at Forge, which is of sorts the Canadian Premier League's dominant power. Decent ball down the line here. Zach Zandy turns the corner, offers the service. Keeper came out. Rosarena didn't really get it, did he? Continues here for the Switchbacks. Back from Fontana. Mahoney.
Now we're starting to see how dominant Colorado is coming out. Now they're getting the confidence on that ball, and they're finding those spaces and what's bringing them to success.
Andely, that got deflected. Andely can be a take-on artist as good as anybody I've seen this season. This will hit out over the line. They will not stop for the hydration break going into a set piece, so they'll take the corner. Set pieces can be such a difference maker for this Colorado Springs team. Richard Harris Law Firm corner coming.
Set pieces are extremely difficult to defend.
All starts with the ball here from Rocha. The last one was just a hair short. After much consternation, Rocha. Rosarena went for it again and he didn't get it. And an injured player inside the 6-yard box peeling himself up. That's Matt Real. And for Real, probably more than happy to know this is the hydration break and he'll have a chance to get off the field for a moment. Hydration break is presented by Flow Natural Spring Water, which I have to think is what's in the bottle. I would hope.
Playing in this heat, it's difficult, and you have to let the ball do the work. And Las Vegas, they're used to the heat, but 95 degrees.
Is there such a thing as dry heat? Like, oh, at least it's only dry heat, or is that all made up?
No, that's all made up. It's
yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
It's hot, you're sweating. It's hot. You can't breathe.
Do you know the hottest conditions you ever played in? I imagine there are probably some pretty heated games in international duty for you.
Actually very hot because I played in Barranquilla, Colombia.
Yeah.
And it's 95, 96 degrees, and we would practice at 3 p.m.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because it was the coach's way of saying you have to get used to it because we're going to play opponents and you're going to outrun them.
Did it work?
The heat. No, I was always constantly dying on the field.
It is interesting when you talk to different coaches how they go about dealing with, and every coach is about to start to deal with this here really this month, no matter what market you're in, from Vegas to Miami to Colorado Springs and on. It's going to be hot in the middle of the day. Do you want to try and match the temperatures that you might see at kickoff in a given week? Do you just want to make it so that you get out early, get your work done, and put as few miles on the tires, so to speak, as possible? You have to find a way to be at your best in October and November. It's just the nature of the game in this country.
It just really depends on the coach and their mentality. Really depends. Every coaching staff is different.
So teams back out here, and we'll see what that mentality looks like now. Hey, Lights fans, how about you scan the QR code that's on your screen now for more on the official protein drink of your Las Vegas Lights. drinkpromino.com. So that's what they were drinking. Las Vegas and Colorado Springs are looking for whatever edge they can get here tonight. Colorado Springs with a win will mosey right up to the playoff line. Obviously a long way to go. Las Vegas could edge toward the top 4, which of course comes with home playoff priority come the postseason. Although, to reiterate, a long way to go. You've been around this game long enough where you get 5-10 games in and you start to see the table stratify a little bit. And if you're sitting beneath the line in May, you go, okay, not a problem yet. But you get to like June and July, and I think it starts to get ingrained. We've got an issue.
It starts to get concerning, but the game of football, it's really unpredictable.
Yeah, 3
Things
points
can
at a time is a lot.
3 points at a time is a lot. You have to take it game by game.
Colorado Springs started last year with 1 point through 6 games, finished second, and ended up going to the final. I think that's part of why they don't seem all that concerned. What a ball through. There goes Zandy, who goes wailing over the top of Arozarena. That touch through by Herbert Endley was just gorgeous.
What an incredible look and combination by Endley and Zandi. And Zandi attacked the space in between the defenders. If he would have just taken a quick little flick outside of the foot, quicker, half a second, would have been a goal.
I feel for Matt Mahoney because we see him in the background there thinking exactly, his hands go to the back of his head just like we did, I know. Well, that's far and away the best chance from Colorado Springs, and that's the unpredictable movement that we haven't seen.
And those little moments and details, it's what's gonna set the difference.
Zhao carried that forward, he got denied. And I doubt as this finds Tejada, Colorado Springs suddenly has found their spark. Forced away from Fontana. I don't know that Colorado Springs coached that exact movement on the sideline, but you can feel a little boost in energy coming out of that.
Well, those combinations are practiced in training consistently, right? During possession games, during passing drills. And you start getting familiar with the movements of your teammates.
What's quite familiar there. Richard Harris Law Firm corner kick for Aiden Rocha and the Switchbacks. Rocha, this pops high, settled. Hanya back outside. Fontana cleared by Johnny Rodriguez. Fans, a reminder to enter the Prinks Tires Tailgate Kit Sweepstakes. It's a chance to win a prize pack worth up to $3,000. Scan the QR code on screen to enter today. Is it bad that I just got new tires, but I'd really like that grill? I'm not eligible and neither are you. Don't think about it, Chelsea. Rodriguez. Matusala did well to slow that down. Stayed touch tight and then saw the overlapping run and backed off. By then, the attack had really sputtered out. Matusala will push there. That did get out as Kona thought he would keep that in. Would have been a real dangerous moment. Hanya.
Good play by Hanya. Really good play by Hanya and Zhao. Making sure, Zhao had to make sure it's either the ball gets through or their player gets through, but both of them cannot get through, so I'm going to have to foul him, because if he gets through, he'll have more chances to score.
Hanya probably had, what, 15 yards in front of him if Zhao doesn't pull him down?
That's where soccer IQ really comes to play. And Zhao, very well done by Zhao, pulling him down.
Worthwhile foul from a guy who only played about 1,000 minutes last year. He's approaching 500 minutes this season already, Zhou Zhao. Featured for the U.S. a while back. Ball through, seeking Tejada. Well, what a vital tackle that was, angling toward the penalty area. And so Rocha will get a free kick here for Colorado Springs. It's a pretty interesting angle. You're coming in from about 15 yards off the line, maybe 10 yards off the line.
This is a difficult angle to score. And so I assume he's gonna curve to the back.
Rocha, there it is. Open header. It's one of the better looks they've had on a set piece tonight. Matt Mahoney, the captain, the target.
These are the moments that are important for Colorado to capitalize on. Really good service to the edge of the 6. If Mahoney would have ran onto it,
yeah, he's sort of leaning away.
It would have been a lot easier.
I think you could say the one really good chance for Zandy off that combination play with Endley and set pieces have really been the Colorado Springs night thus far in front of goal through 40+ minutes.
Which has surprised me, because they're not a creative team, but when they need to create those chances, the final third, they've done well. They've been able to find those combinations.
Hanya turns, faces goal, hits it outside. High arcing ball that Endley has to circle back for. As Kona holds off Endley and almost got his head taken off. Whoa, what a tackle that is, Fontana. And immediate retribution. It's gonna be a yellow on Nigro. I appreciate that reaction between Endley and Nigro too. That's pretty good.
That's playing it smart by Nigro. Because he knew that tackle was a dirty tackle with his cleats up. That was for sure a yellow card.
Yeah. Thought the Raiders played on the other side of the strip. That was tackle football. Well, Rocha just had a great chance from practically this exact spot. It's a little further off the end line. Rocha curling again, was seeking Tejada, and he just got outleapt for it by Gartig.
Great service, a risky spot. But this is when his players have to be aggressive in the air, run onto the ball.
Goal kick for Rosarena, the USL Championship and League One on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches, expert analysis every day, CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. You can go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Had a great time watching Golazo Network's coverage of the Open Cup, the whip around show they did on Wednesday. That coverage of the entirety of the round of 32. Only one championship team getting through. That's Pittsburgh, who beat NYCFC. And for everyone else in the championship, their attention turns back to league play and, of course, the Jägermeister Cup, which will get back the end of the month. 2 added minutes here at the end of the first half.
Colorado has done a brilliant job forcing Vegas to play on one side of the field, not giving them those outlets, being patient on defending, and slowly forcing them to one side to then step in. And now you see that Vegas is getting impatient.
Hada trying to work offensively. First 30 minutes really into the hydration break. Las Vegas was extremely patient.
But now you see that they're getting in a lower block. You see that they're fatigued, they're tired. It's as if they're not covering, they don't have the same speed.
Way by Herrera. Hada the holdup. This rolls past Gartig. And Rosarena scoops it up. Maybe one more chance here for Vegas, or I think you may be onto something there. The locker room and some air conditioning could go a long way. Mahoney runs that out. And seemingly out of nothing, a corner for Las Vegas right at the end of the half. Surely coach knows with the stopwatch that this should be about the last chance of the first half. It's a Richard Harris Law Firm corner kick. There's something to be said for the fact that the last 15 minutes haven't exactly gone your way, and you can sucker punch your way into the lead right before the break. Las Vegas historically has been known for some of the most creative set pieces in American soccer. This to the near post, couldn't flick it on. And even the referee is more than happy with a couple quick whistles to send this into halftime, and it's scoreless Chelsea at the break.
Water. They need some water. Las Vegas is defending in a low block, limiting Colorado's options by anticipating the long balls, which has worked defensively, but also it's restricting their ability to build attacks. So I'd like to see Vegas push their back line a little higher so they don't have much ground to cover on the counterattack. Colorado has done a great job setting the tempo of the game and forcing Vegas to mold to their style. They started slow but ended the half on a high note.
And we'll see if it carries into the second 45. Here in the desert, Las Vegas comes out firing. Colorado Springs, more chance creation as the half went along. And we've got the same gritty kind of game that we got in that Western Conference final in November. Look around the league when we come back.
Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We are proud to offer 9 locations across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
At comprehensive cancer centers, the most advanced treatments and breakthrough research are helping our patients thrive. But some of our most powerful treatments are preventative. This begins together in our community through awareness, outreach, education, and support. From healthier living and self-checks to screening for early detection, we can now find and treat some cancers before they strike. We're doing this together, Southern Nevada, and teamwork saves lives.
We're back here in Las Vegas. It is scoreless in the Western Conference final rematch between the Lights and the Switchbacks. And if you think goals are fun and saves are even better, I've got good news for you. Take a look at the goals and saves of the week from the Championship and League One.
Messer tracking back. Zaragoza stays on it. Deflection comes in. Big save, Morse.
Seufert in midfield. Bends this down towards the end line. Kickers. Top shelf. Bang! Russell the twine and make it 1-0. The striker Joshua Kirkland his 3rd goal of the season.
San Antonio with a takeaway here, and the lobbing of the goalkeeper is thwarted by a strong right hand from Coque Vegas. Huge. Maldonado tosses it in again. Comes back out, swinging the leg with a nice laser beam. Luis Perez blasts this ball home. North Carolina breakthrough off of a set piece.
This week on USL All Access, a look back at the week that was and an action-packed week ahead.
Rodrigo Lopez from Sacramento Republic joins us to talk his return to form, hopefully Republic's return to Open Cup glory. Mark Briggs, former Republic manager, now in the Eastern Conference with the Birmingham Legion.
No one knows it better than Roro and Mark Briggs. They're back together again, only on USL All Access.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 2 nights, get a $50 Best Western gift card.
How does Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water keep you in the game? We always source our water directly from the natural spring to fuel every body, no matter how you like to move it. So whether you're chasing your goals or just staying active this summer, make sure to stay hydrated with Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
Today's halftime presented by Southern Nevada Water Authority. Remember to change your watering clocks for spring and now summer. Water plants and trees up to 4 days a week. Let's take a look at news and notes from the USL Championship and beyond. They're presented by Payblocks. Pittsburgh just got a draw tonight against Louisville City. They knock off NYCFC at the death. Beto Edrach with the winner. The lone championship club to get into the round of 16, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. How about the third kits for New Mexico and Louisville City? Lou City going back to the OG badge on their shirt sleeve. It's brilliant. Take a look. Local ties, communities, both New Mexico and Lou City in their brand new third kits. And let's talk about Huntington's disease. Every official in the professional refereeing organization be wearing blue wristbands in honor of Terry Vaughn, a well-known referee who's been involved in the pro men's and women's games for decades, passed away as a result of Huntington's disease a few years ago, as referees all band together to raise awareness for Huntington's disease. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scores. They're brought to you by Silk Title Company. Loudoun United bounced off that loss against Las Vegas just fine. Dominate Lexington to a 5-1 margin. Rhode Island back home again against Monterey Bay. End up settling for a draw as their slow start to the season continues. Hartford does manage a point against Detroit. Louisville's home winning streak ends at the hands of Pittsburgh. While yesterday, North Carolina with a 1-0 victory over Orange County at home. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, Charleston picks up a 3-1 win over the flailing Rowdies, who are still without a full-time manager. The Roots get a vital 3 points against San Antonio. Phoenix a 2-1 victory over New Mexico as they work their way back up the table following that 1-1 draw against Colorado Springs on the weekend. El Paso nearly took out Austin in the Open Cup, settles for a draw with FC Tulsa. And then there's one other game ongoing in the championship here tonight as Indy 11 has grabbed the lead over Sacramento Republic, who had a difficult defeat at the hands of San Jose in the Open Cup midweek. The goal in that game for Indy 11 from Elvis Amo in the 36th minute of play. And meanwhile, that Sacramento team is very much a part of the upcoming schedule for Las Vegas. Sacramento on the road coming up a week from tonight. Then they'll host El Paso and Phoenix in short order. You might think Las Vegas going to sack twice in 2 weeks. That's the nature of the USL Jägermeister Cup. It'll be their second group stage game. And then they'll go to San Antonio the week following. See all that action on CBS Sports, Paramount Plus, and ESPN Plus. Halftime brought to you by the Southern Nevada Water Authority. Remember to change your watering clocks for summer. Water plants and trees up to 2 days a week. Scoreless at the half. Highlights coming up.
As a Great Clips Salon stylist, I love giving customers the look they want. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details, so it's one less thing for you to worry about. And when I see that confidence at the end of the cut, that's everything to me.
As a stylist, I know it can be hard to find time for a haircut. With the Great Clips app, you can put your name on the list from anywhere and head to the salon when it's time for your cut. A great haircut plus more time for what you love. That's Great Clips.
Desert Radiology is the area's chief resource for the highest quality medical imaging and diagnostic care. We are proud to offer 9 locations across the valley. As a member of the community for over 50 years, Desert Radiology is proud to be the official imaging partner of the Las Vegas Lights. To learn more, visit desertrad.com. That's desertrad.com. Let's go Lights!
At Comprehensive Cancer Centers, the most advanced treatments and breakthrough research are helping our patients thrive. But some of our most powerful treatments are preventative. This begins together in our community through awareness, outreach, education, and support. From healthier living and self-checks to screening for early detection, we can now find and treat some cancers before they strike. We're doing this together, Southern Nevada, and teamwork saves lives.
Today's match is brought to you by Desert Radiology and by Comprehensive Cancer Centers. Come back in, Mike Watts and Chelsea Kabarkis. Take a look at first half highlights between Las Vegas and Colorado Springs. Tejada gets tied up with Howell, draws a free kick, and a decent chance came of it.
Great battle between Tejada and Howell. Not really smart to get that foul there, and a great curler by Rocha. Unfortunate, wasn't able to get them in the back of the net.
Real narrowly above the bar. How about this run from Valentin Noel and a decent look at the end?
Valentin Noel attacked the space. He knew exactly where he was going. Perfect timing. Curled that ball, but Herrera stepped back. Took those 2 steps. He knew exactly where he was going. He's anticipating it.
Neither the first nor the last, Noel. Here's the best chance of the half for Colorado Springs, no doubt. Endley working off of Tejada, and there's Zandy.
Incredible combination. This was practiced. You can tell that they do these combinations all the time. Endley, Zandy attacked that space, being that typical number 10. If he would have just flicked it a little earlier, it would have been a goal.
And instead, Rosa Reina able to engulf the ball, and we are still scoreless going into the second half. Fan-made light show here at the intermission, and Brandon Stevis prepares to take us into the second 45. Temps still around 90 degrees. One of 2 games still on the docket here in week 10 of the championship, and into the second 45 we go. Colorado Springs can move right up to the playoff line with a victory. Las Vegas, with games in hand on the teams above them, can move right into the top 4. Cashman Field in Las Vegas. So if you're Las Vegas, as that foul from Tejada is an early marker, catching Budati. Tejada saying that's a dive. Not sure I'm ready to call for that.
It's an early marker. Colorado is definitely trying to set the tempo early in this half to let them know, hey, listen, we're still here. We're going to play aggressive. I would definitely like to see Vegas step up the line higher in this half, and I can see already they're stepping up. They need to be higher.
And that's a grown man move from Duke Lacroix, holding off Johnny Rodriguez. Zandy and Tejada weren't able to combine. So is that the focal point of the conversation for Las Vegas? Get that line higher and force the game a little more?
Get that line higher, because in the counterattacks, you're not going to have that much space to have to cover to progress play.
It's a really decent ball to open things up off the set piece, but they can't do any more with it. Endley held off. It's back to Noel.
The thing is that this Colorado side, they're really good defensively.
They show it there, and that's lashed out of play. That's a heck of a hit from Pearson.
Extremely organized, and you can see Herrera talking from the back. He's very vocal organizing his back line.
Pearson almost put this ball in Reno.
A great service. I would have liked to see it a little bit more in the to the second post, but a great rebound. Being ready, I mean, needs to put his body over the ball.
To halfway, plenty of pushing and tugging and a free kick. By the way, can we just talk about the fact Pearson's gone full collar up?
A lot of swag during this game.
That's a ton of swag. Zhao, Budati, tough tackle, referee had a look, says there's nothing to it. There is no VAR in the championship. Budati is still down, and Matt Real had to be picture perfect here, and apparently was.
That was definitely a penalty. He went in with 2 legs and to the body. It wasn't the ball first. That is a dangerous, dangerous play from Real.
So no VAR to have another look. Here's Real coming over. Does he get that? He may have gotten that ball first. He certainly got a lot of the player too. Make no mistake about that.
A lot of the player. Real did a great job by being patient as the first defender, but once they passed the ball on, he had no choice. He had to slide. But he took the player with him as well.
Yeah, Budati's glad he wore the right size shin guards today. I know that. Big shin guards aren't cool, but tackles like that are a good reminder. You weren't like the put cardboard over your shins.
I was the type
I
to
knew
put
it.
Cardboard as my shin guards.
Awful. How are you still walking?
A lot of scars on my legs.
True enough. Did you cut the back of your socks? Were you that type?
No, never cut the back of my socks.
I remember talking to Kaylin Kyle, the Canadian international. She said, yeah, I cut the back of my socks, but I also would keep mustard packets because those 2 things kept me from getting calf cramps. And I'm not sure either of the, yeah, I don't think either of those are actually true.
Mustard packets? I'm not sure.
No, those feel like placebos to me. Comes down to Herrera, who's clearly become friends with the supporters behind the net. Real. Field from Matusala, Rocha. You can watch the championship in Spanish on TUDN. It's the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. North Carolina facing off with Oakland on May 16th. 7 p.m. Eastern next on the schedule. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Huge win. Both teams this weekend. This curled, takes a deflection. Zandy sends it out of play anyways. That caught an arm.
We're now starting to see a lot of movement from this Colorado side. They're finding the pockets, they're finding the windows, being a little bit more creative, moving off the ball, overlapping runs, which I'm liking. I'm assuming that was the halftime talk.
Rodriguez, the holdup. That's Kona. Kona, Dominican international. Was with Orlando, then Miami. Was with Inter Miami into the Messi era. Actually featured a couple games at the Olympics. First Dominican team at any age group to ever qualify for a World Cup, the under-20s. Which that year, because of all the adjustment in the the youth national team competitions within within CONCACAF, that ended up also being qualifying for the Olympics in Paris. So they qualified for a World Cup and the Olympics at the same time.
It's so nice to know that a country like Dominican Republic, so small, it's an island, basically. It is an island.
Yeah.
To know that they've become big on the platform, in the sense of being able to play these type of sports and make a mark. It's incredible. And even on the women's side as well.
No doubt. What Haiti's done, we just saw Aurelia Mondesir come in to Seattle Reign last year from Haiti. Part of that renaissance of the Haitian women's national team. This is as Kona got his legs taking out Zandy. Ball across seeking Tejada. And they're going to bring this back and show a yellow card for the tackle from Azcona. That was a lot of advantage to play.
This is when the players are going to get frustrated. They're going to try tackling, getting into those tackles late instead of anticipating the play. And that just simply happened just because he wasn't in the right space at the right time to be able to cut off that pass. So he had to throw himself into a slide tackle.
I think that deserves credit, what Brandon Stevis just did, by the way. Allowed that play to play out, but that trailing leg being worthy of a yellow card, go handle that later. Let the play happen. Too often I feel like they stop play there, don't play the advantage, and you end up getting, at best, a half chance. Really good refereeing in that moment.
It all comes down to experience, right? How every ref is different. And when they have the experience, they know, all right, I have to let the game breathe a little bit.
Kind of ironic the way that first half ended so physically that he still allowed that to play out. But I think he got that exactly right. You want to let it breathe to the point that you don't ruin the game over it, but you do need to set a line.
There's always boundaries when it comes to the refereeing, right? You have to let certain situations unfold and happen, but you also have to make your presence known by saying, okay, now you're going too far. This game is supposed to be physical, but we can't go that far.
When you played in CONMEBOL, you played in Spain, you played in Italy, enough different places where you probably didn't know every referee all that well. A lot of these players have been in games that Brandon's officiated in the past, but by the time you get to the second half, you usually have a pretty good read on it, right?
You understand, and you get an understanding of who's officiating the game and what kind of ref and what you can get away with and what you can't get away with.
Well, I don't think Azcona was getting away with that with any referee. It didn't matter. That was a pretty crushing trailing leg. Marco Micheletto is angling toward the fourth official. Colorado Springs preparing their first sub. Lest we forget, they played on Tuesday night in the Open Cup. Vegas did not play midweek after they were on the wrong end of a cup set in penalties to Chattanooga Red Wolves. So Switchbacks having to make a fair number of adjustments. Ward, Hurman, Dillon, Micheletto, all available off the bench, would certainly be in contention to start. This is a touch foul from Hanya. Vital last year, truly. He was excellent, Hanya. Came in from Colorado Rapids. Arrived on loan and then really eager to get back once he became a free agent. Zip for Rocha, and Micheletto comes in. This is going to be a like-for-like change in midfield. Maybe Micheletto a little bit higher.
Subs are so crucial in the game. The coach needs to know when to put these players on to make the difference. And right now, what Colorado needs is that final touch and that final third, being someone being able to penetrate those balls through or even take a shot from outside. But as of right now, 56 minutes in, we game's a bit static.
Tejada comes into Micheletto.
Not a good way to start your first ball. I always say the first ball that you get coming in as a sub, play it simple. Play it to someone right next to you to just gain that confidence, because everyone on that field has been playing for at least 45 minutes, 60 minutes. They have a tempo, they have a rhythm already going.
So don't play it 30 yards square.
Do not do that.
Okay. Here's Zendeli.
This is when Vegas needs to take initiative. Someone needs to take that initiative in the middle of the park and have that leadership position to force Colorado to one way, to be able to win that ball for that counterattack.
And it felt like they did a really good job, and it's the same side. We've obviously just turned the teams around, but they went down that right side a ton in the first half.
Now I just feel as if they're chasing.
Hanya backing into the pocket. Had the run of Real. That broke down. Had her 114 off another. It's Rodriguez last to touch. Here's Duke Lacroix. We talk about the Dominican Republic, which of course shares an island with Haiti. Lacroix, a handful of caps for the Haitian national team. Jumped in with them last year. Top of the 18. Looking for any semblance of space, Micheletto, to get a shot off. Zandy whips it wide, numbers forward. Mahoney bouncing. And this will touch over the line. Fontana wins a corner.
Moments like this is crucial when your forwards need to be making movements off the ball, not all running at the same pace to the same place. Make overlapping runs, change, come off the line. Disrupt that back line a little bit. Force them to make decisions.
Is that those box runs that you're talking about at the tail end of that, or just more within generality?
Within generality,
yeah.
They have to start moving. You need to disrupt that back line.
Richard Harris Law Firm corner was taken short and didn't play out. Zhao's clearance still leaves work to be done. Smart from Fontana. He knew he was offside, stayed out of the play. Ultimately a foul given anyways. So when you're looking for that movement, are we talking about coming out of that midfield central area, those kind of movements, providing a measure of rotation? Are you looking for wide movements?
It can be wide movements. It can be just 2 yards, just stepping off of that back line, that center back. Maybe just nudging him a little bit to disrupt him, to make him get out of his concentration.
Nudging a center back. That's the most CONMEBOL way of putting it. I like that. You got a crossaway here, and that actually caused a little perspiration for Rosarena. This is out here to Valentin Noel. Now Zhou Zhao.
I would like to see more of these movements from Zhao. He's explosive, and when he has that space, he's effective. And they haven't found a way to make him effective in this game. He's been absent.
Oh, that's clever. Got right into Budati. Is that lack of service to Zhao, or do you think Colorado Springs has just made it more difficult for him to
They've made it very difficult for him to even receive the balls because they're defending so well. They're forcing Vegas to a certain side and not allowing that pocket for Zhao because they know that he's explosive.
Hey fans, the Las Vegas Lights are proud to be working with Desert Radiology as their official imaging partner for this 2025 season. Decent ball forward that Lacroix successfully navigates away from Rodriguez. Las Vegas spoke with Antonio Nocerino this week. He said 3, 10, 15, 20 passes. The objective is to score. He even asked me, he said, what's the objective in football? I said, to score more goals than the other team. He said, yes, that's it. I mean, it really is that simple.
Doesn't matter how you get the goals, you just need to score.
He spoke about you can be direct, and there have been moments of that from Las Vegas this year, and there's moments where you need to play small and build. Said the teams that are best ultimately can do both, and did feel like they were playing against the best here tonight. That's the moniker you get when you play the reigning champion. Real got stemmed off. He's able to turn this back, swing across through.
It's important you know who your opponent is and how you need to adapt. You can't limit yourself to just one style of play, and I think that's exactly what he meant. Getting those goals, no matter what you do, you need to get them.
Yeah.
Win the game, get a result, figure it out.
Clever ball through, kept away after the Hanya cross from the streaming Tejada by Gartig. And Tejada slow to get up inside the 6-yard box. Good ball from Endley.
A great service from Endley to Tejada. If he would have just held his run a little bit.
And Hanya able to knock that ball through, but I can't tell where he was in terms of positioning. His only option was to really bring it back across for Tejada, or if...
I think that's when it's important, when you have to hold your run, you have to time it.
Yeah.
And you read your teammates' body language.
Well, the switchbacks seem like they're getting closer. Gartig knocks it away, works off Budati. Out to halfway, Lacroix getting a push. Johnny Rodriguez trying to break through. He got held off by Methuselah.
This mid block for Vegas is really not working for them.
From an attacking perspective?
From an attacking perspective, they've molded themselves to Colorado style of game, to just defend. We haven't seen any creative offensive outlets for this Vegas side.
Hanya. And a lot of teams, if you're going to play a low mid block, you win the ball. Can you get in behind? And they haven't really shown.
Can you get in behind? You have players that are giving you that depth. A center forward.
It's going to roll too far for Fontana to catch up to.
But they don't, because Rodriguez is pretty close to his midfield line as well, the majority of the time.
And I think this is probably a fair way of describing the adjustment. So Knight Pickering is going to come in off the bench. They're going to bring the swaggy Christopher Pearson off, popped collar and all. Maybe that's an Elvis homage. I'm not sure, you know. Did you ever get a collared shirt jersey?
They're really uncomfortable.
Are they?
They're very uncomfortable.
I know people who swear by it, and I think really they're just trying to say they think they look cooler.
I really dislike them.
Okay. Sent away by a Rosarena. Soccer season is here. SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Those are great seats tonight. Right up next to the pitch. That's a few too many Man United jerseys for my taste, but hey, it's all right.
Kids are looking happy.
Yeah. Well, if they knew where Man United was in the table, they wouldn't be as happy, I think. Much ado about nothing. A drop there for Budati. But hey, I mean, you know, Europa final, am I right? Somewhere Gary Bailey's smiling.
These are the moments that I would like to see the center backs maybe take that space in front of them. And if you watch closely, Colorado's doing a really good job by slowly just creeping up on them, closing that space.
Las Vegas threw some numbers forward, which has been fairly infrequent in this second half. Micheletto, Hanya, Noel was not going to let Hanya by. That is not the first time.
Noel's getting upset when he knows that was a foul.
And it's a no doubt yellow card. You're impeding what's, again, Hanya's second time tonight where he's got 15 yards in front of him.
Hanya did a good job by having those cheeky moves, those small little movements with the ball. It makes a defender nervous. It makes a defender nervous because they don't know if you're going to cut to the left, cut to the right. Not a smart move by Noel.
All the while, Hanya really wasn't a goal scorer at UMass. Came over from FC Tokyo. We debuted in the Japanese 3rd division, came to play collegiately in the U.S., landed in Colorado for a couple of years. Hardly played at the MLS level, but became a best 11 player in MLS Next Pro, which got him a first team deal and eventually a loan to the Switchbacks, where he was really productive last year. This is the end of the line tonight for Anthony Fontana. Comes off his first league goal in like 7 years against Las Vegas. Fontana out and Justin Dillon on.
I think this is the part of the game that things are going to change because Dillon is a true striker. With that size, he's going to make his presence known, put himself in between those center backs and win those air balls. Pick up those balls, 1-2 touch, turn.
And he is the tallest guy in the box. Micheletto. Whoa! Everyone was looking at that massive humanity, and Rosarena, for just a second, thought he had been beat over top.
What an incredible service by Micheletto, putting that curve on that ball. If he would have just put his body a little bit more over, it would have curved downwards into the net.
That's a great clip, conveniently brought to you by Great Clips. It could have been a greater one. Was I the only one who got caught by the flight of that? It felt like that was starting to come back in a way where I'm going, we're about to see the goal of the week. Well, Real kept that in. Rodriguez. I'd agree with that. Zandy. Well, that's Zandy knowing how to play the role.
Zandy knows how to play that number 10 role, throw himself, use his size.
Well, I think we just got a taste of what Micheletto can bring. One of the better dead ball set piece takers in the league. The irony, of course, being that he came from New Mexico while Dennis Sanchez ended up departing Las Vegas and going the other way.
Me being Vegas, I would avoid set pieces as much as possible.
Micheletto, header down. Wow, Arozarena sprawls out and denies Mahoney.
What a great save by Gonzalez.
And that's Arozarena that's able to get down and get that. Wow.
A great reflection. His instinct, look at him go. I think that just gave him a whole lot of confidence.
And then the counter on the other end, winning a dangerous set piece. Dangerous-ish. Sub coming here. Substitutions are brought to you by Pay Blocks as Kona off and Shaft Brewer coming on. Second sub. Ball whipped across dangerously. That's some of the most picturesque service we've seen all night. It was Rodriguez that curled that in behind.
What a great service by Rodriguez. I would have liked to see a little bit more at the sixth, or maybe just one of the forwards attacking that ball. Playing it out, being patient, a great curve ball, and those balls are the dangerous ones, the ones that are bouncing right in front of the goalkeeper, but your forwards need to be ready.
Nigro's service popped away. Chance to hit that on the first time. That pinball through all that traffic. It's Noel from way outside, and it's another corner.
Noel is feeling hot. He's waiting. It's as if he's itching for that goal. What a great strike, putting his body over that ball.
10 goals, 7 assists a year ago for Noel. 1-1 this year. Richard Harris Law Firm corner. Ball through, and that's a letdown at the end of a lot of pressure from Vegas.
Vegas started getting that momentum, and these are the moments that they need to capitalize on, and it's obvious that they're dangerous. They're dangerous when they're in the box and they're given those chances.
And this is good a time as any to take a breath. This hydration break is presented by Flow Natural Spring Water. It is still 92 degrees. You're gonna blink, it's gonna be October, and it's still gonna be 92 degrees. If you're lucky. Other game that was ongoing as we kicked off here tonight, Sacramento and Indy has just gone final. Trevor Ammon scoring a penalty at 90+6. Sacramento equalized against Indy 11 at home and managed to get a point.
For it being 92 degrees, Colorado is reacting and playing really well, being able to move this ball around and matching the physicality. If anything, they're a lot more physical than this Vegas side. And they've been a lot more mobile, moving around.
it is 35 degrees cooler tonight in Colorado Springs than it is here. And then there's the whole altitude side of it too. Hey, Lights fans, scan the QR code on your screen for more on the official protein drink of your Las Vegas Lights, drinkpromino.com. So subs coming here for Colorado Springs. This is the end of the night for Tejada. And Quincy Hewerman in off the bench. Also the long-awaited return for Isaiah Foster. Spent the last 2 years at Cincinnati after starting his pro career in Colorado Springs in 2022. A 7-day trial in 2021. They said no bad days. Thought long and hard about bringing him in 21. Ultimately signed in 22. Got sold to Cincinnati in 23. Was largely with the next pro side for FCC the last couple of years. And now Foster returns for the Switchbacks and is on the field for the first time all year.
This is his game to show, and it's his game to shine.
I remember Brendan Burke saying, we almost felt like we let him get away at the end of 21. He said, I was shocked that he was still available in 2022. Just felt like he needed a platform in the games. Foster still only 21 years old. Came up through the Bethesda Soccer Club in the Washington, D.C. area, and pretty immediately finds a way to get his first touch on it. Subs, by the way, tonight, presented by Pay Blocks. Well, I felt like we just saw the most explosive 3 minutes of the game. And
the most explosive 3 minutes of the game. I was thinking that right now. I was like, okay, now how is this Vegas side going to react?
Right, now go take 2 minutes over there. This is Real going into the book. Colorado Springs has been a red card magnet for the last 3 weeks. Real's gone into the book.
Real is making sure to mark his territory and to play as physical as possible, but being him, he needs to be patient. He needs to calm down, think with his head. Not make these careless fouls, because once Vegas gets to their half, they're dangerous.
Budati, Foster stepped in. Leal. Stepping inside, Noel. You have that great shot on the ball that got passed back to you off that set piece, and you think, you know, maybe, I think you said he's starting to feel it tonight.
He's starting to feel it. He's taking his chances, and although that last shot wasn't the best shot, it's an opportunity.
Something for Noel. As good a human as he is a soccer player, that I was told last year. Can play in the 8, the 6, the 10, anywhere in midfield. It's a first-round pick in Austin, and if not for the fact that he was dealing with that international slot issue, so often prevalent with young players develop in this country and go through the super draft process, probably would still be in Austin. Micheletto coming across the face of goal. Dillon turns, stabbed outside. Foster, and the whistle's going to go on Dillon.
And this is why Dylan is dangerous. He knows how to run and move in the box as a typical number 9 striker. He comes in and he shields the ball. He waits for that foul. He knows that his size, defenders are gonna bounce off of him. But if he can find that player to lay it off to so that they can go ahead and take that shot, then he does it. If he can turn, he'll do that as well.
Well, I guess every coach is walking out of here with a card. Don't know what Antonio Nocerino had to say, but now both he and James Chambers received caution. Chambers in the first half and Nocerino now. I was talking to a coach in this league over the last couple of years. I'm trying to give this a vague enough area for it not to get nailed down to one coach. Said, I thought I got away with it because I said it in a different language, and the referee sent him off anyways because he knew enough of that language to know that that was not the right word. I'm not sure what Nocerino said, but whether it's Italian, French, or English, it drew a card.
And it's something you cannot say.
Yeah, that's right. Or it's one thing too many, who knows? Here's Real, short-armed it. They're indoctrinating the youngins into the supporters' chants at this point. Looking for whatever edge they can now. Here's Dylan. It's slow off the turn. Brewer closed it down. Brewer won it off of Hanya. Shaft Brewer is built like a brick house.
These are the moments that Vegas needs to explode into that space, that back line, explode into it with pace. Because if you explode into it with space, windows are going to open, pockets are going to open.
When you've gotten to 85 minutes, you're at home. Open this thing up a little bit, right? Foster forced them back. Arozarena.
If you would have told me that this game would have still been 0-0 in the 85th minute, I wouldn't have believed you.
Coming into the night?
Yeah.
I think once we saw the first 10, 15 minutes, it felt like it's possible that this may. I think you were absolutely right that they were feeling each other out. And as we kept going through it, there's only been 2 shots on target all night. To be fair, pretty decent shots at that. The good save by Arozarena on this end. It's a decent chance in the first half that Arozarena was able to get to before the shot even occurred. This is what we've waited for all night. Ball slipped ahead. Noel head swiveling. Ball knocked down right in front. And while Herrera steered that into the worst possible spot, no one was able to leap on it. João nor Rodriguez.
Noel has been on fire all night. He's looking for those spaces. He's reading the game. He did really well by attacking that space. If he would have curved the ball a little bit more to the top of the 6 to make it a ball in between the goalkeeper and the defensive line, could have had success. But the build-up play was decent. I like what I saw.
Dangerous runs, ball in behind a Noel. That's the explosion in behind that Las Vegas has been waiting to implement, or that Chelsea wanted Las Vegas to implement.
That's exactly what I wanted Las Vegas to
Yeah,
implement.
there you go.
They have the potential. They're just not using it at the moment.
Giveaway. Trotting ahead, the slip ball for Rodriguez. And that is a mighty letdown. Knight Pickering handed it off, and Rodriguez just never seemed all that comfortable with it.
These are the moments that Rodriguez had to have composure. Composure, take a breather. You have the ball at your feet. I know things get tense when you're getting close to goal.
And lest we forget, Colorado Springs does not have a clean sheet this year. This keeper, Christian Herrera, started the first 3, conceded 6, comes out, they throw in Abraham Romero. They really feel like they've got 2 number 1s. Romero ends up securing a draw at the end of the game against Phoenix last week, in part by impeding an obvious goal-scoring opportunity outside the area with a handball that provides Herrera a chance to get back into the lineup, because Romero, of course, being sent off, wasn't available tonight. And Herrera may be in line for a clean sheet here with a couple minutes to go, the one that the Switchbacks have been waiting all season for.
Which is a great confidence booster for this Colorado side, but for Vegas, this is something that they needed to take advantage of. Knowing that Colorado, they haven't had any clean sheets, so that means there's defensive errors that were happening throughout the season.
And they really feel like it's just been moments. They feel like they're close. You talk to James Chambers and he goes, this is 1 or 2 moments a game that have dictated wins becoming draws and draws becoming defeats. They went through this last year, but he's not pointing to last year at all. So it's a different team. We don't talk about last season, but they are more or less exactly where they were at 8 games last year. Their defense took the next step. Their attack took the next step, no doubt. There is a chance one of these teams is going to walk out of here with one of those moments you look back on as an inflection point. Hanya, that's out of play. Hey, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team. Play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play, so download now. This game has had 17 shots and only 2 on target. 27 fouls, 4 cards to players, 2 more to coaches. I'm just doing the math. Here's a bit of a concern. So Raiko Arozarena is down trying to stretch out. The good news is Vegas, if they need it, do have a sub available. The other side of this, you hope this is just a pseudo timeout that he's trying to take.
The 4th official has indicated that a minimum of 5 minutes.
We'll go 5 more minutes.
Fans, get on your feet and make some noise.
It's a game that's been static for the last 15. We saw maybe 3 minutes of action, but it needs to be better. Needs to be better from this Vegas side. They started off strong, but they started dying out. When they have the advantage, this is your home field. You're used to playing in this weather. You're used to playing in this environment. Use it to your advantage.
All right. Trying to get that quad worked out, I think. It's always funny to me when I hear Fall Out Boy play in any USL venue when you realize that the bassist in the band owns part of Phoenix. Someone somewhere is thinking, thanks for the royalties. That's a future striker for Phoenix. All right, well, you can bet another 90 seconds or so to add on to that 5 minutes. Hopefully Arozarena is good to go. So free kick conceded by Lacroix. Nigro and Noel over the ball. There's some big options here for Las Vegas. Noel, that doesn't fluster Herrera at all. Noel knows that's not his best work.
Herrera has done a good job this game anticipating plays coming off of his line, organizing his back line. And defensively, Colorado has been very sound and compact.
Ninth game for the Switchbacks. They're trying to avoid, they only have 3 losses, but their 5th draw. You could argue coming to high heat on a short week. It's a good result for Colorado Springs. But it won't change the points all that much. The news at the line does them some favors tonight. The picture's not going to change all that much. They're still going to go into next week a win away from getting back into the playoff field as we reach about 1/3 of the way through the season. Here's Real. Clock says we've got another 35 seconds, could easily be another 2 minutes. A lot of time to get done what needs to get done here. Hewerman. Real. Scuffed clearance. Back toward the penalty area, away from Dillon. Real. Tooth and nail with Zhao. It's a foul on Zhao.
That looked like a very intense battle. But we're all shaking it off, playing it smart.
Real has to, he's on a yellow. This is Foster. Foster crossing, ball drops down, cleared, Dillon lets it go away from Micheletto. And it's a corner.
What a great play by Foster. Those balls are so dangerous, being pinned in on the ground in that the top of the 6.
Real crossing, this will find Brewer. That was a throw, not a corner. It did get to the other side of the corner flag. Now a throw for Las Vegas. How quickly do they want to move? Not very.
I think at this point of the game, they know that it's over.
Play by Metusala. It was a 90-second stoppage as Rosarena got looked at right at the start of stoppage time. Maybe another 30, 45 seconds to go here. Flick through Zhao. Can Vegas win this right at the end? They've had those moments this year. Cross, knocked down, Rodriguez. Nope, that's it. It's full time. And this Western Conference final rematch comes with hardly anything in front of goal and nothing to speak of on the score sheet. Switchbacks and Lights finish 0-0.
It was a match with some solid chances, but for me, Colorado held their ground and forced Vegas to adapt to their style of play. If you would have told me that this game was going to end in this result, I wouldn't have believed you, because I thought Vegas came out with a lot of more creativity, but they just ended up dying out towards the end. I mean, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Despite playing in 95-degree heat, Colorado looked like they were the more physical team. Both sides had their moments, and we saw flashes of quality football, but it wasn't good enough.
Not enough tonight. your man of the match, presented by Payblocks. If you look at Las Vegas, if there's one player that seemed to have that spark, especially in the second half, it was Valentin Noel.
It was Noel. He was the one that was running 18 to 18, looking for those chances, getting behind the defensive line, trying to make something out of nothing. And I mean, he showed quality football at moments. He was creative.
And all the while, the clean sheet that James Chambers has been waiting for, and Raiko Arozarena adds a clean sheet as well for Las Vegas with a critical save at the line midway through the second half that helps Las Vegas secure a point. It's not quite the revenge they were looking for after being ousted in the championship semifinal, the conference final a year ago. But the fans do see Las Vegas fight tooth and nail and secure a point. And he's still here. Highlights coming up after this.
At comprehensive cancer centers, the most advanced treatments and breakthrough research are helping our patients thrive. But some of our most powerful treatments are preventative. This begins together in our community through awareness, outreach, education, and support. From healthier living and self-checks to screening for early detection, we can now find and treat some cancers before they strike. We're doing this together, Southern Nevada, and teamwork saves lives.
It's going to fall in behind for Pete Zone.
Take a look at the full-time highlights between Las Vegas and Colorado Springs. We start with Valentin Noel going about half the field distance and probably the best chance for Las Vegas in the run of play.
Noel with so much personality. He knew exactly where he was going with that confidence, curved that ball upper 90, but Ferrer saw it coming.
36th minute, little back heel opens this up. Endley works off Tejada, found Zandy.
Great combination by these three, and Zandy attacking that space, doing exactly what number 10s do, being cheeky. If he would have just flicked it off his foot a little faster, it would have been a goal.
Instead, Arozarena to the rescue. Say it again, Arozarena to the rescue. This header from Mahoney.
Incredible save, and it gave him so much confidence by just a quick instinct reaction.
And that's enough to salvage the point. Take a look at the full-time highlights. Chance for your final thoughts in this one. It just wasn't remotely clinical enough. 0-0. I rarely say that sounds right, feels right. It is.
Vegas came out the first 5 minutes. They were tactically sound, creative, moving the ball around. The tiki-taka, very Latin football. But then Colorado just came back and they showed, hey, being physical, winning those first balls, those second balls, gaining that confidence on the field, and they started controlling.
So Las Vegas and Colorado Springs end up splitting the spoils here tonight. I can't stop looking at this guy.
I need to be his friend.
Yeah, right. For Chelsea Kabarkis, our entire team in Vegas and beyond, Mike Watts saying thanks for watching. Colorado Springs heads home next Saturday night to see Pittsburgh. Las Vegas will go to Sacramento, their next home game here in 2 weeks against El Paso. Arozarena, brilliant. Couple big saves, a clean sheet. Finishes 0-0. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.